Hi, it's Lou. I'm going to share with you just a few pointers, just a few things that I've noticed in working with clients and energy clearing that I work, but more specifically how it applies to myself. You know, we all do self-sabotage, we all do things, say things that we regret, that we feel shame about or embarrassed about, or we disapprove of ourselves, and so we're pretty judgmental. That's how we've all been conditioned, isn't it? That we're kind of only nice people, good people when we do things or are a certain way. And I think it's all pretty arbitrary, really. You know, who set up the criteria for that? And at the end of the day, I think it's an internal censorship system. But that can be pretty unkind, cruel, and unforgiving. So the real switch over is that at those times when we do those things, say those things, or treat ourselves in a certain way, when we know that the body's going to benefit through nourishment, exercise, fresh air and clean water and all the rest of it that we all know, and when we don't do that, why is that? What is it that's going on there? And I've traced it back as far as I can. I just think that because we're all infinite beings, with infinite power at source, and depending on where our consciousness is and depending on our awareness of where we are in relation to that truth about the enormity of our being, that because we're so powerful, we can decide, we can choose to do something that limits our power. And self-sabotage is just one example of how we limit our power. But because, when we sort of do things like anything that we feel is not for our highest good, what we do with that is that through the judgment, actually, we contract our energy. So anything that isn't love is going to have some kind of contractual force on it. So when we do something that is judgmental, we're not being loving to ourselves, and especially when we're being not unconditionally forgiving, then we're actually contracting on ourselves, and that is a form of self-sabotage. So you can use the ways that you can use self-sabotage to choose what you'll do with that reactivity. So when you may automatically go into self-judgment of some sort, whether it's shame, blame, feeling inferior, or just being cross at yourself. And in noticing that, notice where your body really contracts. And that is where you hold love away from yourself. And wherever you're doing that, you're not allowing the universe to fill you and to flow through you fully. And therefore it can't have your back if you don't have your own back. So it is a choice, quite a radical choice, to move into, unconditional forgiveness for yourself, because it just cuts out a lot of the crap that goes on where, if you judge yourself, then the discomfort of that often drives us to do something equally self-sabotaging again and again and again, and that's how that loop happens. So to cut the cycle, we actually have to go into and pull apart the energy of self-judgment and conditional forgiveness and switch it. And so we have to do that energetically. And I'm not saying that's easy. I'm saying that's what we need to do. So thank you so much for listening. Bye for now. It's Lou.